Okay. How much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? It's an interesting question. And you might think, why? Why is it interesting? Well, first you need to consider what it means to chuck wood. I mean, wood has been a vital resource for all of the great civilizations of the past. So to chuck wood means to gather resources. And when you consider that, it becomes clear why it's such a compelling question. It's a metaphor. It's a metaphor for responsibility. It's like all that woodchucking, that's a heavy load, man, and each woodchuck needs to carry some of that weight. So then you think, well, how much wood can one woodchuck chuck? It's not so clear, is it? I mean, the answer is totally predicated on the interval of analysis. For example, the amount of wood a woodchuck can chuck over a minute or even an hour is nothing compared to what it could chuck over a year. But that's the thing. A woodchuck only has so much time. Just like you only have so much time. It's like you can look at it from a totally mathematical perspective and think, okay, the woodchuck can chuck wood at this rate per hour, and if we multiply that by the number of waking hours in the woodchuck's lifetime, we can get its total output. But woodchucks don't work that way. You need to eat and sleep and socialize and pursue mates. A woodchuck that tried to flat out chuck wood every waking hour wouldn't last a week, maybe a month if he was in the upper quartile of conscientiousness. But those woodchucks are rare, and I mean very rare. So for the majority of woodchucks, if all they do is chuck wood, sure, they'll be hyper-productive over a week, but they'll be infinitely less productive over a lifetime than woodchucks who try to chuck wood in a manner that's more sustainable. But the problem comes in when you consider all the other things woodchucks do. You realize that chucking wood probably doesn't feel as good as the majority of the other activities. So then the woodchuck might think, well, why would I even want to chuck wood? And that's a good question. And the answer is somebody has to do it. So then the woodchuck might think, well, that's true, I guess. So I'll just chuck the bare minimum amount of wood that'll make the other woodchucks tolerate me. And it's like, yeah, okay, see where that gets you. I mean, that's a path of pain. To not lift your fair share of the collective burden. So if he adopts that strategy, other than the fact that it's reprehensible, sure, he'll have more time, but he'll also have less resources. And with less resources, he's going to have a lower quality of life anyway. So the question becomes, how much time should he spend chucking wood? Well, like we said earlier, he can't spend all his time chucking wood or he'll just bloody burn out. So the question is better predicated as what are the appropriate sacrifices the woodchuck should make in order to optimize his woodchucking? And it's like, yeah, well, good luck with that one. We've only been contemplating that for centuries. I mean, that's a fundamental question of life. How do we balance our responsibilities with those things that give us natural pleasure and satisfaction? And the interesting thing is that in the case of human beings, literature suggests that if you control for talent, meaning you limit your pool to people with comparable skill sets, the productivity over a lifetime of the ones who live balanced lives actually surpasses the productivity of those that just work flat out. And that's the significance of the woodchuck question. It's like if you're a woodchuck and you have the requisite skill, you know what you're drawn to and you know your responsibilities and you make the bloody right sacrifices, an amazing thing happens. You become the woodchuck who chucks all the wood. And then the world just opens up to you. And female woodchucks will actually start pursuing you because you've proven your worth to the larger woodchuck community. So the answer to the original question is, depends. Is the woodchuck's life balanced? Can he identify and make the appropriate sacrifices? Is he disagreeable to the degree that is necessary to climb the dominance hierarchy? There's no simple answers to this question, and there's no simple answers in life. Well, I suppose that's about all the time we have left for today. I'll see you on Monday, where we will begin our character analysis on the parrot from Aladdin. Have a good weekend, everybody.